I love you, Odells, and I don't think anyone disagrees with the fact that if I hadn't lost you to an injury, I would still be quarterbacking the New York Giants, and that is very, very upsetting to me. Can I give you a kiss? I love you.
Absolutely. Come here.
Oh,
You my man. You my quarterback. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Week 13 editions of the best DFS show on the planet, ManzMakers. As always, I am your very rich host, Pete Manzanelli, and we, after a week of giving thanks, are back for a proper, official episode of ManzMaker. And today, I am joined by a truly, truly prestigious guest, Ben Cummins. But before we can get to that, it's time for some news and booze. Now, this week's news and booze sadly takes on a very somber tone after this man, this beautiful man, Eli Manning, was wrongly benched by the New York Football Giants this week. And let me just offer up a quick thought experiment for you. Put on your thinking hypothetical caps, okay? Can you imagine if the Patriots benched Tom Brady right now? Could you fathom a man who has won them multiple Super Bowls? There would be riots in the street. Well, do you know why I can't imagine that? Because that's just what happened. The New York Giants benched their Tom Brady. This guy, Mr. Eli Beautiful Mannings, okay? And I'll tell you right now, Super Bowl wins are eternal, and so are the men who win those Super Bowls, okay? And I'll tell you right now, I almost didn't do the show tonight. I was so emotional. I was so overcome with sadness, and I'm angry, and I'm disgusted. But for now, all I can do is remember all the good times we had. So let's raise our glasses up to the sky and pour one out for Eli Mannings. All right, it is now time for this week's Tweet of the Week that brings the heat. And this week, our Tweet of the Week is from none other than Mr. Adam Schefter himself, the preeminent NFL reporter, okay? And he says, wide receiver Michael Crabtree taped his chain to himself before Sunday's game, knowing he was facing the chain-snatching Broncos cornerback Aqib Talib. And Talib still got it. Now, first off, that's the kind of reporting I want to see Schefter doing more on a regular basis. You know, forget all of the who's inactive, who has a torn ligament. No, let's get into the jewelry these guys are wearing. Let's talk. I want to know about Jay Ajayi's braids, okay? That is what I want to know about. But when I saw this tweet, I was like, this is very, very familiar. Now, Michael, you had your chain snatched by that punk-ass Nicholas Taleb the other day. And like, as a fellow professional, like who wears a chain like myself, like I can't even imagine like what that would be like to have someone yank your chain like right off your chest, bro. Although actually I can kind of imagine it. It'd be like if I was like building lineups, bro, and like Condia walked in and like ripped my chain off just because I was scooping all of his double ups. See, I knew it. The same thing happened last year, and I, of course, was first on the scene. Kind of an Adam Schefter move on me. But it's hard to have sympathies for Crabtree. Don't get it wrong. Just because I also wear chains doesn't mean that I can sympathize with him, okay? Because history, as we have learned, is bound to repeat itself. And only idiots do the same thing over and over again without learning from it. So this is all I can say to you, Michael Crabtree. It's time to think creatively. It's time to mix it up. Next time you play Nicholas Tassim Taleb on the Denver Broncos. You need to hide your chain in your jock strap and make him really earn it, okay? Put it right there, bud. You want some of this, Taleb? Come and get it, bud. Come and get it. Moving on, let's get to our guest now. Welcome back to ManzMaker. I am now joined by a truly prestigious guest. This kid is everywhere on the internet. He's with the FF footballers. He's with the FF authorities, draft consultants, 2QBs, RotoJizz. He's everywhere. Ben Cummins, welcome to the program, my dude.
Manz, thank you. I'm so privileged and honored to be here, and I'm pumped to talk some Week 13 with you.
That's right, dude. So you're out here. You're doing lots of DFS stuff these days, right? Have you kind of pivoted? I used to think of you as kind of maybe a redraft or a dynasty guy, but now I see you going full head of steam into this DFS. Now you're talking my language. Oh,
you got to, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I'm, you know, I do a little bit of everything, some redraft, some dynasty, but my main love is DFS, and it has been for a while. That was basically the driving force to get me to start writing and to start getting more into it. Because, you know, you got to find these under the radar cheap plays, the Aaron Ripkowskis of the world, as you know.
Oh, goodness, dude. You just are, man, are you trying to sweet talk me because you have succeeded? And now I do have to address one elephant in the room, and I was very, very hesitant to say your last name because it is very vulgar, but I have to ask, Ben, coming in what? What are you coming into?
Oh, everything, man, everything. Okay. You know, when you have a last name like this, you just have to embrace it and just roll with it, and you know, just live by the sword, die by the sword. You know.
Wait, are you saying the Manz isn't the first one to ever make this connection with your last name in this vile act?
Oh no, you are. You are. Like, Manz, you're king of everything. So I'm not. No, I didn't even know it was a joke until you brought it up. But now that you say that, you know, it makes more sense now.
Yeah, you know what they say, if you see me around, I'll leave a sock in the door, but we got to keep that sock away from Ben because he's looking to come in something. Okay, thank you, folks. We are back for ManzMaker now. I've seen you talking about a restaurant that I am a big fan of, Taco Bell's, dude. You out here getting the munchies, ordering Mexican pizzas at Taco Bell. Tell me what draws you to this fine establishment so much?
Oh, man. I mean, what doesn't? I mean, I could close my eyes and pick anything at Taco Bell, and I would be totally satisfied. Leave the steak and lobster for whatever. You know, I'm trying to save my money, so I have more money to enter into the Millie Maker, you know, and I get a good combination of amazingness and, you know, affordability, which is also what we look for in our tournament plays, of course. But, yeah, I mean, come on. Mexican, Italian's right there, too, but, 1A, 1B, but if I have to choose, I'm going Mexican, and I don't need the 5-star dining. Taco Bell gets it done for me.
Okay, but I do have a litmus test for how legit and diehard of a Taco Bell fanatic you are. Okay. What do you think of cinnamon twists? There is only one right answer.
I like them, but I never order them because it's just another item that I can get that has cheese on it instead is what usually I go for.
Okay, that's fair, dude, but you have to wash down the meal with some cinnamon twists. You got to start doing it. Trust me, you can't have the full experience. You've been. Get the Choco Taco, some cinnamon twists, and then you get the fried chicken gordita crunch. That's when you're living, dude.
Now you're speaking to me, baby.
Okay, let me ask you a few football questions here. Ricky Seals-Jones, is that a real dude or is he made up false flag by the NFL and DraftKings?
Man, I thought for a little while he was made up, but all of a sudden, getting more targets last week, and I just picked him up in a dynasty league. I hope he's a real person because I just picked him up in a dynasty league, and I'm actually starting him this week because I've had bad luck. Tyler Eifert, some other guys that got injured there, and I like the rest of my roster, but needed some help at the tight end position. So I hope he's a real person because he's starting to impress me a little bit more. I love it, though, because I feel like he came out of thin air. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. So then the natural follow-up question is Gronk or Ricky Seals-Jones, ROS?
Oh, obviously Ricky Seals-Jones. I mean, the efficiency, and we know that's the most important stat in all of fantasy football because when you're efficient, that never goes away. That's why Alvin Kamara is going to be the greatest running back of all time. Just, lock it up, throw away the key on that one. So I mean, Ricky Seals-Jones, let's go. Two or three touchdowns in 2 games. He's obviously going to score probably about 2 games or 2 touchdowns in every game the rest of the season. You can't beat that.
It's true. It's true. Excellent. Now, I hate to get emotional. Earlier in this program, I did air my tribute video to Eli Manning's, and I trust that you as a football fan understand what a sad week this has been in the NFL to lose one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, 2 Super Bowls. How are you handling this traumatic, stressful week where we have lost my dear, dear friend, Eli Manning's?
You know, I'm not handling it that well. That's why I had to send out the tweet that, Eli lost his job, but Ben McAdoo, of all people, still has his job. But I think that I know somebody that's handling it a little bit worse than me, and that's this guy right here, Odell Beckham.
Odell, is that you, Odell?
It is. Hey, keep your head up, bro. Keep your head up. Look, there's a lot of haters out there. I deal with a lot of haters too. But, the next chapter is your best chapter. Keep it up. I'm sorry I didn't invite you on the boat, man. I'm sorry, hanging with those girls probably would have helped out. But sorry it didn't end the way that, we wanted it to. We were making records. But you'll always be my quarterback. I just want you to know that, bro.
I love you.
It's all love, baby.
I love you, Odell's, and I don't think anyone disagrees with the fact that if I hadn't lost you to an injury, I would still be quarterbacking the New York Giants, and that is very, very upsetting to me. Can I give you a kiss? I love you.
Absolutely. Come here.
Oh,
you my man. You my quarterback. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all love on this pod, baby.
That was a very, very tender, emotional moment. I'm sure it was cathartic for our audience. Very sad day. I hope to see him get back in the saddle there. I mean, best of luck to Geno Webb, Davis Webb, whatever their names are. Good luck with that offensive line. You guys are now going to see what Eli Manning's have been having to deal with all these days.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Okay.
Underappreciated.
Let's talk some DFS. It is our modus of operandi. It is the reason we are here. It is week 13, and now I know you've been building some lineups already, so tell me, who is the one guy right now that you're having a hard time building a lineup without?
Well, obviously, we got to talk about tournaments. Forget cash. That's not exciting enough.
We don't do cash around here.
Yeah, we don't do that. And I was gonna throw out D.D. Westbrook at you, but look, Manz, you're the boss. I love how crazy you like to get, and I like to get nuts too, like that. So let's forget about D.D. for a second. I want to talk about Jerick McKinnon because I think that he's a player that a lot of us love, but now that Latavius Murray's back, all of a sudden we can't play him because Murray's running all over. But McKinnon has still seen average 19 opportunities, that's carries and targets, over his last 7 games. And that upside is there in the passing game. And on the road in Atlanta, in a game where I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to dominate like they've been able to do, that's going to mean more pass attempts for Keenum, and that's going to mean more targets for Jerick McKinnon, who's also been involved in the running game as well. So, you get a dual threat right here that I think if he does catch 6, 7, 8 passes, which is possible, he could blow up for you at like 5% ownership when nobody's thinking about him. But I still have love for you, Jerick. I like you this week.
Dude, I love that call. I love it a lot. Falcons give up a ton of receptions to running backs. It's a great spot.
Yes.
And I completely agree. Everyone is going to want to play Thielen. Everyone is going to want to play Latavius. And I'm liking the Diggs and Jerick McKinnon play that shoots out and you get on the right side. Everyone chases. Everyone chases what happened last week. We're going to get Jerick in a very nice spot. I love that call, Benjamins.
Let's do it.
Okay, now it is time for the hit segment. Stacks on stacks on stacks. Ben, Who is your premier stack of the week?
You know what? I'm staying in the crazy lane because I want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not going to be owned, and I like this guy, man. I think that he's very talented, and I think that I'm intrigued by the ability to roster a guy that I think is very talented at a very low, obviously ownership percentage, but a very low salary as well. Because if he does stay the quarterback of the 49ers for the rest of the season, I expect that salary to start to rise. And I think he'll probably be at least $1,000 more expensive on almost all sites here very soon. And if he is, up there as a pretty talented quarterback, and we just haven't seen it a lot yet because, he very limited action in New England, it could start to pay off right now. And obviously, if you're playing Jimmy Garoppolo and you're hoping that he is talented, and the Bears, they're not a very favorable matchup, but they also don't really scare you. They're 3-8 on the year. They're middle of the pack in pass DVOA. So I could see Jimmy Garoppolo having a good game here. Obviously, we saw Carson Wentz blow him out of the water last week. It is Wentz, the boy. He's amazing. But Garoppolo could do a little bit of that too. And if he is gonna, blow up, it's going to be with the Olympic speed of Marquise Goodwin, because there is no more Pierre Garçon. He is the guy, and we know that he's, been targeted deep downfield. Everybody's got to remember that 83-yard touchdown against the Giants. He's 17th in the league in air yards out of all wide receivers. He's getting targeted deep, and if the quality of targets is better from Jimmy Garoppolo than it was with Beathard, which is exactly what I expect, we could hit a couple home run balls here, and we could be looking at a low ownership percentage. We could be at the top of GPP leaderboards, Manz. What do you think?
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Yeah, the conventional wisdom is it's a little bit of a rough spot on the road there with the Bears, but I like what you're playing into. You're saying there is this unknown factor. We don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo's could be very, very good, and you're saying you want to get on the ground floor of the Jimmy Garoppolo stock, and you're going to ride it all the way to the moon.
That's exactly right. This is why we play, isn't it?
That's right. I like it, dude. This is, people come on this show, and I will tell you, this is a problem, I think, in DFS prediction markets, and it's the reason why a lot of players, the sharps, don't actually tout, right? Because they're trying to win. When you're a tout, you are often incentivized to give the safe play because you would rather be right. Am I correct? Like, that is worth something.
You are correct, yes.
To tout. So their plays lean towards the safe, to the cash game side. Those are the picks you ultimately have to fade because ownership goes through the roof. And Ben Cummins comes on this program, and he's giving me Jerick McKinnon at 5%. He's giving me Garoppolo at sub 5%. I like your stones, kid.
I appreciate that. And if you couldn't tell, obviously you can't tell that I'm majority tournament player. Love it, man. Love it.
I like it, dude. None of this weak ass bullshit that you can get everywhere else, dude. We're giving you the deep cut plays that are gonna take you to the top. To the top. Okay, now I know I just gave the impression that we're on the same team or simpáticos, but I'm about to challenge you to something known as the 69 challenge. Are you familiar with the 69 challenge?
I am. I just I watched you and Pat Doherty, Roto-Pat, the other day. So, yes, I'm familiar and I'm ready to rock.
Okay. All right. So I don't need to explain the rules. I've explained it many times. Everyone knows the drill. But I will say I'm on a little bit of a rough pattern. I had a nice stretch there in the middle where I took down CSU Rams. I took down Mike Taglieri's, and I'm just telling you, I'm due. I'm heating up again for another 69 challenge win, okay?
Uh-oh, I'm nervous because I feel like my 9 players should be able to beat your 6, but I don't know. If you're due, we'll see what happens.
We'll see, dude. You know what would be so hard? As I always say to my guests who I challenge, I often have to leverage their plays. So if you're throwing Jimmy Garoppolo and Goodwin, maybe I'm hammering Carlos Hyde at you. If you're coming at me with McKinnon, dude, maybe I have to go back to the Latavius Murray well. You don't ever know.
Maybe hit me with Jordan Howard.
That's right, dude. So just be careful. I want to know that everything you've said here is admissible in the court of law and may be held against you.
Okay. I like it. Maybe I'll have to pivot off of those plays. Who knows?
Oh, my goodness. This is where we get in the game theory, beyond the game theory, dude. Everyone out here is playing checkers, and you and I are playing chess on the moon. You know it. Excellent, dude. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the program. Tell people where they can find your stuff. There's too many things, dude. You're out here doing everything. Tell them, prioritize what they should check out.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down a little bit. It's most of my work you can find at the Fantasy Footballers now. There's the Ultimate DFS Pass. Unlike a lot of places, it is a one-time payment. And so you can go get that for the rest of the year, the playoffs and everything. I write a lot of different DFS articles there. And then on Twitter at Ben Cummins FF. But yeah, the Fantasy Footballers is where the most of my work is now.
Excellent, dude. Well, you brought the heat. You brought Odell on the program. You gave us some bomb-ass picks. Follow this man on Twitter, at Ben Cummins on Twitter. He is the man. Good luck, dude. I'm going to send you over that head-to-head challenge. You're going down.
All right. Sounds good, man. Look forward to it.
All right. Thank you to Ben Cummins for coming on the program. That dude brought the heat. Be sure to check him out. But it is now time for the Manz Fans of the Week. And this week, that prestigious honor goes to Joe O, aka Joe01S on Twitters. Now, this dude, based on his profile picture, he rocks the shades, he chills with hot babes in the pool on the reg, which is very reflective of the man's ethos. He's also out here on Twitter spreading the gospel about the man's GPP. So congratulations, Joe. You are the man's fans of the week. And speaking of GPPs, be sure to sign up for the Week 13 contest on DraftKings. I'll post it below in the show notes and in the comments. And as you all know by now, I did finish in the money last week. I'm on a bit of a heater, clearly motivated by that hit piece that my asshole producer ran a few weeks ago. So just know I'm coming in very hot, and I'm here to take all that money back. This week, in fact, it is a $10 buy-in. We're up in the buy-in. None of this little nitty $5 stuff. No. $10 now to play with the big boys and the Sharks, okay? It's $108 up top, otherwise known as 0.01 Bitcoins, folks. And speaking of Bitcoin, I recently shared my backstory on Twitter of my relationship with the mysterious founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto's, okay? So be sure to check out my Twitter for those juicy, juicy details, and expect to see much more crypto advice from me in the future. I have a very, very diverse portfolio, and frankly, crypto's treating the man's pretty damn nice, folks. Pretty damn nice. And I'll be sure to let you guys in on this very soon. Okay, that's it for me. You guys have a truly, truly prestigious week. We will be back next week. Until then, get paid, get laid.